incredibly humiliated and extremely pissed off. TFL, I just want to talk. Hi, my name is Jessica, and today I'm going to spill the AccessibiliTEA on my horrific experiences using the London bus system. If you're new to my page, welcome. I'm a disabled American woman who lives in central London. I officially moved to London 2 years ago after studying abroad here in college, meeting a local, marrying a local, and therefore, here we are. Yeah, it's a whole rom-com love story waiting to happen. The point is that I have a long history of being present in this amazing city. But that said, during every stage of my London experience, I've been some kind of broke. Meaning that in order to get around the city, I rely on public transport. Even today. Did you know that according to TFL's website, only 92 of the total 272 tube stations in London are accessible? Or more properly, are step-free. Now, in my experience, a step-free certification only guarantees level access from the platform to the street. Getting onto the train is its own entire can of worms, and often involves getting a staff member involved with a ramp. Because you know, that's totally accessible, right? No. But it's better than nothing. Since clearly this is not ideal for disabled passengers like myself, Transport for London, or TFL, have come up with a solution. And that solution is buses. Each iconic double-decker red London bus comes equipped with an ejectable ramp and one singular wheelchair-accessible space. Now, as this is the only space on most London buses without permanent seating installed, you'll find that these areas can often become quite crowded. If anyone on board has any sort of luggage or families are using strollers, they too are instructed to use this space, which can cause confusion when a wheelchair user, like myself, needs to board the bus. It is clearly stated on a sign on every single London bus that if a wheelchair user needs this accessible space, that it must be given up by anybody else using it. Yet, many bus drivers refuse to enforce this rule. Clearly, this is all sorts of problematic, but what causes me much more frustration and distress as a disabled woman is when a bus driver full-on decides that they're just not going to let me on board. For example, just the other morning when I was coming home from the gym, I rolled up to the bus, I hit the button that alerts the driver that I need on board, and they completely ignored me. Inside, I could see that the wheelchair accessible space was completely empty, and I could hear the alarm going off, specifically alerting the driver that somebody outside has requested ramp access. Still, the bus pulled away without releasing the ramp. I was incredibly humiliated and extremely pissed off. This is legit discrimination, folks. And there is absolutely no reason for it. Even if the ramp was broken for whatever reason, the driver still should have come out and communicated to me that this was the case and helped me find an alternative method of transportation. But to completely pretend that I don't exist, to actively not let me on board the bus, that is ableist to the highest degree. Long story short, because the next bus wasn't slated to arrive for another 15 minutes, I decided to make my own way home via Hyde Park, which unfortunately put unnecessary exertion on my wheelchair, which is a concern of mine considering I pay a lot of money for my wheelchair, and to drive it extra mileage is never good for it. Plus, it was below freezing on this morning, so my joints were affected for the rest of the day, and I was so freaking cold. So overall, it was not a great start to my day. This unacceptable situation is unfortunately not so uncommon. In fact, I would be so bold to say that I have just as many good experiences on buses as I have bad, which both means that TFL have failed to provide adequate DEI training for their staff, and that society is still incredibly ableist. But that is some tea for another day. TFL, if you're watching this, please consider hiring me to help train your staff on all things disability and accessibility. It's quite clear you could use some tips. I offer several forms of training, from speaking to consulting work. So, let's work together to make the London bus system the solution that it should be. To everyone else, thanks so much for watching, and if you want more accessibility content, be sure to like this video and follow along for more. Until next time!